to Seth's comfy couch. I was just doing a little bit of reading. Have you guys ever heard the story of the Three Little Pigs? Well, if you've heard the story I've heard growing up, you've always heard, apparently, the wrong story. And according to the true story of the Three Little Pigs, Mr. A. Wolf wasn't always a big bad wolf. So today, I'm going to read you guys this cute little story called The True Story of the Three Little Pigs, told by John Sciezza and illustrated by Lane Smith, and actually told by A. Wolf. Now in here we're going to have the big bad wolf, supposedly, and then the first little pig, the second little pig, and the third little pig. So, let's get started and see what the true story of the Three Little Pigs really is. So, the true story of the Three Little Pigs, told by John Sciezza and illustrated by Lane Smith. Everybody knows the story of the Three Little Pigs, or at least they think they do. But I'll let you in on a little secret. No one knows the real story, because no one's ever heard my side of the story. I'm the wolf, Alexander T. Wolf. You can call me Al. I don't know how this big bad wolf thing got started, but it's all wrong. Hey, maybe it's because of our diet. It's not my fault wolves eat cute little animals like bunnies and sheep and pigs. That's just the way we are. If cheeseburgers were cute, folks would probably think you're big and bad too. But like I was saying, the whole big bad wolf thing is all wrong. The real story is about a sneeze and a cup of sugar. This is the real story. Way back in Once Upon a Time, I was making a birthday cake for my dear old granny. I had a terrible sneezing cold. I ran out of sugar. So, I walked down the street to my neighbor for a cup of sugar. Now, this neighbor was a pig. And he wasn't too bright either. He had built his whole house out of straw. Can you believe it? I mean, who in his right mind would build a whole house out of straw? So, of course, the minute I knocked on the door, it fell right in. I didn't want to just walk in on someone else's house, so I called, little pig, are you in? No answer. I was just about to go home without a cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. Then, that's when my nose started to itch. I felt a sneeze coming on. Well, I huffed, and I snuffed. And I sneezed a great sneeze. And you know what? That whole darn house fell down. Right in the middle of a pile of straw was the first little pig, dead as a doornail. He had been home the whole time. It seemed like a shame to leave a perfectly good ham dinner lying there in the straw, so I ate it up. Think of it as a big cheeseburger, just lying there. I was feeling a little bit better, but I still didn't have my cup of sugar, so I went to the next neighbor's house. This neighbor was the first little pig's brother. He was a little smarter, but not much. He had built his house out of sticks. I rang the doorbell in the stick house. Nobody answered. I called, Mr. Pig, are you in? He yelled back, go away, wolf, you can't come in. I'm shaving the hair off my chinny chin. I had just grabbed the doorknob and when I felt another sneeze coming on. I huffed and I puffed and I tried to cover my mouth, but I sneezed a great sneeze. And you're not going to believe it, but this guy's house fell down just like his brothers. When the dust cleared, there was a second little pig, dead as a doornail. Wolf's honor. Now, you know food will spoil if you just leave it out in the open, so I did the only thing there was to do. I had dinner again. Think of it as a second helping. I was getting awfully full though, but my cold was feeling a little bit better, and I still didn't have that cup of sugar for my dear old granny's birthday cake. So I went to the next house. This guy was the first and second pig's little brother. He must have been the brains of the family. He built his house out of bricks. I knocked on the brick house. No answer. I called, "Mr. Pig, Mr. Pig, are you in?" And do you know what that rude little porker answered? "Get out of here, Wolf. Don't bother me again." Talk about impolite. He probably had a whole sack full of sugar, and he wouldn't even give me one little cup for my dear sweet granny's birthday. What a pig. I was just about to go home and make a nice birthday card instead of a cake when I felt my cold coming on. I huffed, and I snuffed, and I sneezed again. The third little pig yelled, "And your granny can sit on a pin." The rest of the story, they say, is history. The news reporters found out about the two pigs I had for dinner. They figured a sick guy going to borrow a cup of sugar didn't sound very exciting. So they jazzed up the story with all that huff and puff and blow your house down. And they made me the big bad wolf. That's it. That's the real story. I was framed. But maybe you could loan me a cup of sugar? And that, boys and girls, is the true story of the three little pigs. I just find it so exciting that the real story came out, and he's actually not that big bad wolf. I really hope you guys enjoyed the story. Come back next time to Seth's Comfy Couch.